Hello Stamper, welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm Frances Martin, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today we're going to be playing with the silver embossing paste and also watercolor, what I call the wild watercolor. I thought this card is perfect for April shower, bring May flower. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is take a piece of watercolor paper. I'm going to do this one a little bit bigger, so it measures 4 by 5 1/4. Now we're going to use the mask, the cloud, the mask there. We're going to put that where we want and decide about where you're going to finish it so you don't, you get the place for your flowers. So me, I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to take your paste, and again, this is the silver paste. I'm just keeping that mess there. Okay, I should have brought a rag with me. And mix that good. And this is way lighter than the regular paste, so just keep that in mind, okay? Now I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to apply that a little bit differently, just because I don't want like a frosting. I want more like a rough cloud, like a poofy cloud, put it that way. So here it is. You can lay it flat, and then we are going to show you what to do. So let me keep on mixing this here. And usually I would have brought a container with water in, because you want to put your mask with your paste when you're done in water, or just go rinse it so it don't dry. This video, let's hope it's quick and I don't have to worry about drying, because I forget to bring my container of water. Okay, now I'm going to remove all this here, and what I'm going to do is just tap it a bit. See, get it rough there. Here we go. Now you're going to take this. Let me make sure it don't fall down. Et voila. See, okay, now I see this one. I didn't tap it. So what I'm going to do is, I really don't like a cloud that it's flat. So I'm going to just come here. If you hear bing bang boom, that's the thunder outside. We're in a good storm. I'm like, well, the storm won't stop me of doing my cards. So now let me remove this. Voila. Now you're going to have to wait a second. I'm going to have to go put that on the other counter there. 1 second. Here we go. Because I didn't want to put it here and have a big mess. Now when you're done with your paste, you want to close that tight. And in the plastic that it came in, put it back in there, because you want that really airtight so it won't dry. If you already toss your little Ziploc bag, just use another Ziploc bag. That's it. Now, what we just done, it take at least a few hours to dry, and especially here it's humid, take longer. So now I get one already done. So let's do our watercolor that I said we're going to do. And I'm going to do a little bit different for my first one, just because you learn as you go, right? And so what I'm going to do is just mist my paper with water. I'm using the spritz bottle. And we're going to start with Old Olive. And this is one of the steps that I didn't do in my first one. And I thought, it would have been better. So what I'm going to do is just add very, very light of the green at the bottom. Just like the grass, whatever. And we're going to stop that right about there, here. Here we go. That is it. Now, I'm going to use, where's my rag? I'm going to use Marina Mist, just wipe. This is just water that you put in your aqua painter, okay? And then before you start, I should have said, you want to make sure your brush is wet. Now I'm going to use Marina Mist, and you can squeeze your pad like this, and that's going to bring the ink in the cover there. So I'm going to mix this, and I'm just going randomly. It's no right and wrong. Trust me, a sky don't have and then I'm going to come with a smoky slate. And have a little bit more gray in the sky. Okay, I'm gonna add more blue. So you see, you can play with your colors as you go. Add some blue, add some gray, till you get whatever look that you want. Right now, if I could flip my phone, not my phone, but my camera there, you would see that really the sky, it's super gray. So depending which day you're thinking about, you can add more gray or less gray. Here we go. And even if you get spot of white in that, it's perfectly fine. And you see, I try to keep a little bit of a gap between the sky and the ground, so it's like the horizon. It's like more white there. Here we go. We're going to keep that way. Now, we're going to use a few sets today. When I say a few, I'm using 4 sets. I wanted many things, and I decided, well, I'm using them all. So right now, for our flower at the bottom, like I said, April shower bring me flower, I'm using all those stem with those little things. It's like almost like the lavender. So that's what I'm using for those two, and that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to be using all olive. Even if your paper is wet, that's perfectly fine. And this time I'm going to go a little bit higher. So I'm not doing that equally. You don't want that equally. So mix that at different heights. Almost one equal there. I'm going to put one very high here. Here we go. Oh. So then if that happened, I want it to touch the ground. I just reverse it, and voila. Okay. Now we're going to leave that like that. I'm going to keep that open because I'm going to need it again. Now I'm going to use Wisteria Wonder. And we're going to put it at every stem. And if you see, let me bring you that close, you're going to see. See, if I go right at the top of the stem, it don't match. So what you have to do, the flower go inside the stem. So those little pods or whatever, it attach with the stem. So you have to bring it down, and then it's going to match perfectly. I was like, how this work? Well, finally put my thinking cap on. Here we go. And you want it to bleed like wild watercolor. Here we go. Now I use another stem that I use the eye tie, and I use the grass there. So let me do the grass. So it's like the wild feel. Okay, and I think I can add a little bit more lower. Oops, wrong one, dang it. That's okay, that's okay. Here we go. Here we go. Now let me add more. Even if it's not right on, like I said, we're doing wild watercolor. Now what you want to do, it's a very light mist. When I say light mist, I mean a very light mist. So I'm going to go very far, about, I would say 12 inch. And let's see if it's bleed, because I want it to bleed. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do is take my heat embossing tool, because if I would not do a video, I would let it dry. I bet you're asking me, can we use the heat tool for the paste? I'm not a fan of that. And see, I got a puddle of water there. That's perfectly fine. And I can take my rag to where I get too much water, And then we're going to come back with our colors. First, you want it very wild color. Here we go. And go in the back and forth, so then it stops the curling. You know, curving your paper, see it's going back flat. And I'm going to go back in the back. We're going to call it good for now. Usually I would let it dry more. But let's go back with our Wisteria Wonder. And let's do this darker here. Here we go. So it's very wild watercolor. So the back, it's all like marbleized, and here we go. So now we got our wild watercolor. Now we're going to use the raindrop. Oh, there they are. And we're going to use the sprinkle of light for the greeting. Every cloud has a silver lining. You just have to look to see it. I thought that was the perfect saying. The raindrop was bigger than I wanted, so I went and got my weather together. So you see, I use more stamp set than normal, but all those stamp sets have been around for a while. So maybe you already have them, or maybe you can use one or the other. So now I'm just using my raindrop from the Weather Together. That's the one with the umbrella. And I stamp once and stamp back. And stamp once and stamp back. Stamp once and keep on going. And my paper's still wet, so I get all those dots. And to be honest, I think raindrop, it's perfectly fine like that. Here we go. So now I'm going to add a bit there. So if you think this is too much here, what you can do is take your brush and light that up a bit. Here we go. Now you're going to have to let that dry completely. So let's start mounting our, well, first let's do our greeting while that dry. So the greeting, what I done, I use smoky slate, but I think smoky slate we don't see that much. So I'm going to use Marina Miss. Wishing you, oh, that go inside our card. 1 minute. Here we go. And let's trim that down. Get scissors right here. So I'm going to cut that right here. And I want to cut the top there, so let's bring that on the, it was a bit too wide. So when you get a little piece like that, just use a piece of Post-it note, like I share in other video. And then, oops, better if I get all my, and then line it up where you want. I'm going to put that right there. Make sure it's straight. So now you can hold your paper. Here we go. Now I got it. And we're going to sponge that with a smoky slate. So I'm just going to do a V, cut in the center and cut on each side. That's the way I like to do my banner. I'm going to use my dauber with smoky slate. And we're going to dot, dot, dot. And then we got one more thing to add on that. Now I'm going to use my bone folder and curl to the top, and then in the center go under. Et voila. Okay, now let's remove this because it's kind of wet and dirty. We're going to use silver, foil silver, that measure Okay, what did I told you? All the measurement going to be on my blog. I think I give you some wrong measurement here. Let me just double check that quick here. It is 3 3/4 by 5, and this is 4 by 4 and 4 by 5 1/4. I thought I give you the wrong measurement at the beginning. So we're going to mount that together. And because it's going on foil paper and watercolor paper, you want to make sure you get plenty of the glue. I'm going to put that at the top. And if you're wondering, oh my goodness, she's wasting a lot of silver paper. Well, before you do this, you can always go in the center and do a die cut or a punch, something, so you can use another shape later on, whatever you prefer. Now this here measure 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. This one I'm using Marina Miss, and the other one I did use Wisteria Wonder. So I'm just trying different colors, see what's going to appear better. This one is just a tiny little border. Now we're going to use Whisper White, and inside it's wishing you better days to come, something like that. Now I'm going to put all this together, and the next step that I'm going to do, you have to make sure that your paper is dry. I'm going to do some, but I think it's preferable if you wait till it's completely dry. I'm using the Glitter and Clear epoxy shade. You get 2 sheets in them. One sheet, it's the plain one, and one sheet you get the glitter on them. Doesn't matter which one you're using. So you get the circle and you get the teardrop. To be honest, I wish I would have all teardrops, raindrop, teardrops, whatever. I absolutely love, what am I doing here? I absolutely love those little, where did it go? Okay, let's try that again. I know it's someplace here. Love those little drops. Love it, love it, love it. So now I'm going to come here. Put that right there. Here it is, I think, with the circle. Here we go. So I just went randomly, oops, and put some all over below my clouds. Oh, I use about, I would say, a dozen. It's not that complicated. Trust me, I'm just challenged right now for some reason. Here we go. I like to take my scissors, just go under a bit, and then come. Voila. So after that it's all done, for my grading, what I done, I just use glue dots. One glue dot there and one glue dot there. And now I'm going to come right here. And I like that my grass, it's higher on this one. Voila, my friend. This is it. Oh, and in the inside, I put my little flowers again, wishing you a brighter days. So this is it. All the supplies going to be below in my description. If you click on the arrow there, it's going to open the description, and all the supplies, it's there. You can click on the supplies. It's going to bring you right to my online store. And again, all my online store, it's for US shipping only. Thank you so much, and have a lovely day, my friend. Bye-bye for now.